Hello, and welcome to What's Your Story? I'm Judy Mario, your host, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. We have a wonderful guest. Her name is Kathy Baldwin, and Kathy is an author, and she is also a host to the TV show Unlearn Your Crap. She helps people break free from stress and burnout by unlearning the disempowering behaviors, or should we say, the disempowering crap, so that you can step into your true calling, living in peace, passion, and purpose with true prosperity. Welcome, Kathy. We're so glad to have you here today.
I am so excited, Judy. I've been looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, we've been planning this for about a month. I'm so glad that we're finally here together. So, what part of the world are you in today?
I am in Canada, just outside of Toronto.
Is it cold there yet?
No, we're in our Indian summer, is what we call it. And so it is gorgeous 80 degrees, sun shining, blue sky, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I need to ask you, what kind of crap do we need to unlearn?
Anything that takes us out. Anything that has gotten in the way of us living our authentic genius is what I think we need to be getting rid of.
Okay. So, how did you come to this knowing?
Ah, it was a learned experience. I suffered from complete, total mental, emotional, physical breakdown after 40 years of being too strong for too long and ignoring the wisdom of my body and ignoring the wisdom of my heart and soul and doing the crap that I was supposed to do. The be a good girl, serve others, make sure that everyone else is taken care of. And like so many people around the world, especially women, we are being led to autoimmune diseases and mental health crisis and everything that is taking us out of our game. And so I'm on a mission to teach people that you don't need to break down like I did. You can learn how to access what you have inside and step into your genius today.
Yes, yes. So, what do you find are the common misconceptions about personal growth and transformation?
The main thing that I am spending my time focusing in on is that we need a guide and a mentor and a coach, but we don't need anyone to tell us what we need to do. That is an inside out story. So, having a guide and a mentor or somebody to guide us through the process brings us back to our ancestral roots, where we had a community, where we had a tribe, and we had elders who guided us through this process. And part of the crap that I think we need to unlearn is that we're supposed to know it all, do it all by ourselves, and
Mhm.
have all the answers and be perfect and go it alone. And so that's the main misconception, is that I think people think that the answers are coming from without rather than from within.
Oh, yes, yes. I've always had this need to fix everybody. If they have
Mm.
a problem, I want to fix them. And I wonder what you do. And I wonder where I got the idea that I was capable of fixing the world. Were we taught that, or were we just expected to do it for other people, or what?
A lot of that I think is our generation. That whole Gen X. So many of us were taught that we are supposed to take care of everything and everybody else. That it is our responsibility to make sure that everyone around us is well taken care of. And so we take care of our families and our friends and our business and our homes and whatever we've got going on. And all of the responsibility falls on our shoulders.
So you're an author and you have a television show, but you're also a coach. Is that right?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
So then I have this question for you. How do you
Okay.
help support your clients during your transformational healing journey, during their transformational healing journey? How do you support them?
I help guide them to themselves. I help show them the language that their body is talking to them. I help them understand the roadmap, the GPS, all of the things that we were naturally given. And so when we learn how to access that information, when we learn what it sounds like, what it feels like, now we're empowered. And then after that, I consider myself a concierge where I introduce people to specific areas that they're looking to change or improve in their own lives. So mine is taking people to their genius, their knowledge, their own guidance system.
What if they just absolutely do not believe they have any genius? They have no confidence, no self-esteem. Um, do you find people like that come to you, or do only people with more confidence reach out for help?
You know, that's a really good question because every one of us knows that there's a calling. We feel it, and we just don't know or believe it. Life has beaten people down. It sure beat me down where, I thought that I had to self-sacrifice. And so when I'm having clients come to me, they're in all different stages of that. Most of the time, though, when they're feeling lost and disconnected, they want the reassurance, they want the guidance, they want to learn how, but they're afraid of being disappointed again and discovering that their inner knowing is wrong. And it's not.
Yes, I mean, it was interesting that John was talking to me before the show started today, and I was reading about you to him, and he said, "You guys, you all kind of focus on the same things, don't you?" He said, "I guess it's out there in the universe or something, because every time you interview one of these wonderful ladies from the Women Thrive group, you all seem to be on the same page." And I said, "Somehow we've been attracted to each other." And I think those of us who have been through those really difficult times, like you and like me and others, then we see, oh, here's a mistake I made, and then we want to help the other people not have to go through those things. Do you find that as well?
Absolutely. I think I call it we're in a paradigm shift, and that the world is calling us back to those old communities where we had those support systems, where there was someone who could see us fall down and say, I've been there, here, let me help you. And so those walls of isolation are being broken down. And yes, that's part of the universal laws, is that as we hit a place, we're attracting more and more of the same. And so I believe it's our duty, our mission to collaborate and coordinate together so that we share our resources, we share our knowledge, and that we all rise up together.
Yes, and I found that so true this last year of me being with Women Thrive. Now you're in it this year, so you'll be
Yeah,
speaking in March, right?
I will be. I'm so excited.
On the big platform. But in the
Yeah,
meantime, you'll be doing several showcases so people can catch those showcases and hear you speak throughout the year. Is this what you talk about, unlearning the crap?
absolutely. It is something that I've used unlearn the crap in multiple ways. One, I believe it is a physical excrement that's in our body that we need to release. That the stress and the cortisol, it creates inflammation, it changes our microbiome because we are electromagnetic, physical, biological beings. And so there is that physical component to it. But then I also talk about the fact that CRAP is an acronym for condition responses automatic programming.
Ooh.
And yeah. And so there's so many areas of that whole spectrum that I get to play with on these showcases and talk about different areas.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I was told very politely by a very well-known woman speaker in the country that I was not to say crap on stage, but times have changed and we can say crap and we can say stuff. She also told me not to say stuff. So I think people understand what we mean when we lay it out there like that. I always say, I think that crap is a part of our growth.
Yeah,
If we didn't have the manure in life, we wouldn't have the growth to get through that and get to the next level. Do you agree on that?
absolutely. Part of the unlearn the crap is those social norms and dictates of what we should and should not say. Don't offend anyone. Be careful of our words. Be careful of our thoughts. And so, as we're trying to please everything and everybody outside of us, we're losing the connection to ourselves. And so, that whole rule of what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot look like, how you're supposed to show up in the world. These are so many things that are designed to disconnect us and disempower us. And I believe it's purposely done, because when we're all within our zone of genius and we are all totally empowered, we can't be controlled.
No, no. And I don't want to be controlled.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Our business systems, our marketing systems, everything has learned how our body, mind, and soul works. They know the triggers, they know how our brains are wired. And with that knowledge, they can, like a marionette, make us dance. And
Yes.
we need to take that power back.
Yes. I love that it said that your true calling, you help people step into their true calling, living in peace, passion, purpose with true prosperity. My book, You Are More Than Enough, is every woman's guide to purpose, passion, and power. It's a very, very similar belief system that you and I have here. I like that. Where are you in the world?
I'm just outside of Toronto, Canada.
Oh, you're from Canada as well. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Where are you?
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. See my
I
background?
I did. I was wondering if that was purposeful.
Yeah, this is where I grew up, and sometimes I find it interesting because, like, I did a lot of work in Africa, and one of the men that was my manager over there, um, he had been a minister in previous life, and I was telling him, I just can't find the right man in Las Vegas. I can't find the right person. And he said, well, of course not. You're in Las Vegas. You're not going to find the right person there. He said, that's like taking your seeds and throwing them on the concrete sidewalk and expecting them to grow plants. And I was like, what? But we have nice people here. So, but I love living in Las Vegas. It's a exciting place, but off of me and back to you. Okay. So did you
I
live in
love the
Canada all your life, or did you just grow up there? I mean, did you?
Yeah, no, I'm born and raised in the Toronto area. I've done a little bit of traveling. I've lived a couple of years outside of Guadalajara due to family.
Ooh,
Yes, yes.
I
That
want to live
was
there.
oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I can't wait to go back. The Mexican people are so fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if people in other countries grow up with the same hangups that we grow up with here. Um, they seem to be a lot happier than we are in so many places where they don't have near as much.
Yes, I still have found that different cultures have their own societal norms. And if it fits with who you are, that's fantastic. The Mexican community I found to be very supportive of family. And so I wonder, if they're so family oriented, what if you were the black sheep? What if you were a unique star that was being called to go elsewhere? Were you being shunted by those beautiful things like family and social support? I think we all have our own challenges no
Mhm.
matter where we live.
I think we do too. If I need to unlearn some of my crap, what would be the first step I would take?
This is hard. This is a really hard thing to do. Become very self aware. Become very self aware of what you say, what you do, how you feel, your reactions, your results. and start to become aware of how you move through the world. What is happening? What is coming back to you? Because that self-awareness is part of knowing how to access your genius. Because it comes to us in our feelings. It comes to us in little tinglings in our gut. It comes to us by the hairs on the back of our neck. It comes to us through insight and intuition and so many different ways. So coming inward, instead of focusing all of our attention on giving and serving everybody else. It's a tough switch, but it's so worth it.
Mm. And do I have to watch my negativity that comes out of my mouth?
Is that your crap that you have been learned?
I think I've unlearned it finally to quit saying negative things. I never I never did it to be mean or intentional. I just did it to be funny when I was younger, and I was often corrected about that. So even now, I have to watch what I say that's negative. Do you think that uh, that negativity really does affect us and the people around us?
Absolutely. Everything is vibrating. We live in a quantum physics field where everything at its root is vibration. Words have vibration, thoughts have vibration, feelings have vibration. And that goes out into the world, but it also comes in. Our heart will receive signals of those vibrations before any other part of our body, before our head, before our gut. And so that heart center with the electromagnetic field, what we send out is what we're going to bring back in. So we might say it's only a joke, or they're only words, or sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. It is such crap because everything matters. Everything matters.
Yes, it really does. It really does. And it affects our health, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're discovering that our gut microbiome is such a delicate balance. And when we're stressed or feeling negative emotions and our central nervous system has everything turned on, it changes our microbiome. Our digestion slows down. And now we're ripe for disease. They've proven that almost 95% of diseases, everything from Alzheimer's to cancer, originates from stress, inflammation, and our gut.
Mm.
And that is affected directly by our thoughts and our feelings.
Yes, yes. Our thoughts create our feelings, and that creates our behavior, and that creates our results. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. And that's where our inner power comes from, is knowing that our thoughts, they can come and go, but what do we decide to focus in on? What do we decide to choose out of everything out there? Because it is our focus, our attention, and those decisions where our power is. And that's why I said the very first thing that is so difficult for people is to become self-aware, because we've been disconnected from that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I, I run across people all the time that I don't believe they understand how they act, what they say. I don't believe they understand how that affects other people. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do we educate people? How do we, if they're just so unaware that they're spreading their crap everywhere, how do we get them to become aware of it?
We can't. The only thing I believe we can do is focus in on ourselves. And we have to, instead of having the world be careful about not offending us and not hurting us and not taking us out of our game, that becomes an inner journey. And so we need to be able to stay focused and centered in who we are and the vibrations we bring out into the world, regardless of what's going on around us. And it's that ability for us to stand in our truth and stand in what we choose to project out into the world that is going to change the world. It is our higher vibrations that will raise people up. We
Mm.
can't teach anybody anything unless they're ready to do the journey. All we can do is influence them by what we put out.
Yes. Where do you see the future of personal development in our world?
Oh, I have a utopian belief and dream that this paradigm shift, this bringing in of technology, AI, and robotics is going to bring us to our most humanness. We're going to discover our creativity, our innovation, our passions. We're going to discover who we are. And as we all step into our place, and we collaborate and create a weave of intention and cooperation, now we're affecting the whole, and it becomes a ripple effect. And so I just see it as going back to the beauty of nature. Nothing in nature fights itself, it's all integrated. The trees share the resources, the water and the land move together. And when we as humans live like that, there is no win lose.
You give us a lot to think about, don't you?
I hope so. I hope so. I feel like when I went through my healing journey, it was a personal journey because I was literally fighting for my life. And as I came through it, at the end of it, I had this epiphany, it was a download, a knowing that now that I had come face to face with the truth, now it was my job to help spread the message that we all have everything we need within us.
I'm telling you, John was so right when he said, "You people are all on the same page." Because the opening of my new book says, um, so many people are looking for their answers out there, but the truth is they're in here. So that's exactly what you're saying. We have to go within, find out who we really are, and go with that,
Yeah,
because it's there. Our answers aren't out there in the universe somewhere. They're in here. That's what I'm.
absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing you say as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny because we've been funneled through a system where we're all supposed to be the same, just like machinery, where we're duplicatable and replicatable and replaceable. And there is nothing human or natural about that. And so when we finally step into the fact that we all don't have to be authors or bakers or computer programmers or whatever, a mother, parent, whatever it is, all the rules are things that we're thinking we're supposed to do. But when we actually just step into who we are, now there's no need for hate. There's no need for anger because everyone just knows that we've all got our own part. And
Yes.
some of that part is falling in with the law of polarity, which is that everything has an opposite.
Hmm. Hmm. My dad often said to me when I was a little girl, I had four older sisters that were all beautiful. And when I was a little girl, my dad would say, Judy, you can't be those people. You can only be you. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter how much you love one of them. You can't be them. So don't try to be like them. Be you. And I think that was great advice that he gave me. And I very often see people trying so hard to be like their older sister or brother or their mother, or to live up to some unrealistic standard that we have here in the world. And yet, at the same time, if you're allowed to be who you really are, you're going to be the best ever.
absolutely. I could not agree with you more. And you are so blessed that you've had that father that gave you that guidance.
Mm.
I was raised by parents who wanted me to be my best but fit in. everywhere. So Kathy, do this, Kathy, do that, don't do that, don't show that. And so I learned to live with masks, and I turned myself into what I call Gumby, if you remember Gumby being pulled in all those directions, always trying to find the piece of myself that each person wanted so that they would accept me. And when I let go of that and Gumby and I came back to myself, now I walk through the world in a whole different mindset, energy. I wake up happy to be me and excited about how my life is unfolding. It's a gift, it's a joy to accept you just as you exactly are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the most important person that has to accept is ourselves. I
Yes.
have to accept me. You have to accept you. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I find it interesting that you said that you think AI is going to help us with our personal development to become even better. How do you see that?
AI is going to replace all of those repetitive tasks, all of those things that we can program and say to do on automation. So anything that is labor intensive, repetitive, is perfect for AI and automation and robotics. We can just let it happen. That takes us away from 2/3 of our brain power, actually majority of it, because 95% of our brain is in automatic programming, and brings us to the part where creativity lives. AI can't do that. Automation can't do that. It is only within our own individual brains that we have this creativity, this innovation, this compassion. I don't believe that there is a problem we cannot solve if we are out of the drudgery of the doing, which can be replaced by the technology that is out there.
That's wonderful. So many people are afraid of AI. They're like, "Oh, it's going to take over the world. We won't even be able to think anymore. It'll do all of that for us." I love to hear your take on it because I find it fascinating and supportive of some of the other things that I do. So thank you for that insight because it feels good to hear you say that.
You
So
know, it's funny because when I was in high school, we weren't allowed to bring calculators into our classrooms for tests because we were supposed to do all of that mental processing within our brains. We don't need to be geniuses in math when we've got the tools. We don't need to have the strength that humans had when they built the pyramids, when we have machineries and cranes. So we've accepted the tools externally and allowed it to come into our lives, but we're not embracing it on the personal level where we can just be beautifully human.
yes, yes. Wow. Well, on that, you're leaving us with a lot to think about. We're running out of time, but I want you to tell the audience how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you online, and so on.
Well, I'm pretty easy to find if you use the words unlearn the crap. So that and my name. So kathybaldwin.me is my website. Unlearn the crap is my YouTube channel. That's where my book is. I'm building a community for collaboration and empowerment. Everything can be found under Kathy Baldwin or Unlearn the Crap.
That's wonderful. And I'd like to invite you, Kathy, to write an article for Choices Magazine. We put out a wonderful magazine for the Women Entrepreneurs Association, and I think they would learn a lot. They could really get a lot from a nice article by you. I think that would make a big difference to our women who read the magazine. So I'm going to send you the information when I get
I
home.
will. I'm honored. I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, we'd love to have you do that. You're really an intelligent, smart, fun, exciting woman, and I think you'd be great for our magazine. So
I
thank you
appreciate
for
that.
being
Thank you.
here. Thank you for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. You're fabulous. I hope you'll come back sometime soon.
Absolutely. Anytime, invite me, and I will happily contribute any way possible to help spread this message.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kathy. We'll see you soon. And thank you for joining us today. I love that interview. I think she's an incredible woman. I hope you did too. And I hope you'll be back with us again very, very soon.